Hi everybody, this is Angelica. This video is called, Can a Spiritual Awakening Be Mistaken for Mental Illness? And also I'm going to throw in there, if you have taken medication in the past, will that prevent you from your spiritual growth or from growing more spiritually? Okay, yes, spiritual awakenings can oftentimes be mistaken for mental illness. And the reason is because you're coming from a regular world. You did things a certain way like everybody else in society, and everybody, everybody kind of accepts this reality for what it is. And they listen to the doctors and they listen to all the people that tell them, what to do in the school system. And, you just take it as truth and you just come here and you do that. So when you start changing and you start opening up more of your abilities, what happens is when you start sensing things out there and they start coming into you, you start to say things to people and maybe react to things differently, and people may be telling you, wow, you really need to go to counseling or you need to see a psychiatrist. And you even feel that way too because you're changing so much and you're feeling all these things that you've never felt. And you're feeling up and down, and you may feel bipolar or whatever. You may feel kind of crazy because you're changing. Your whole being is changing into something new. That's what the spiritual awakening process does. So you will oftentimes go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist or both. And when I started going through this process, I went to both, and because I didn't know what was wrong. And then so I talked to the psychiatrist. Yeah, the psychiatrist. I told him about what was going on, and he had no idea what was wrong with me because he hadn't heard about it before. And in fact, he went and got the head of the mental health clinic to check out what was wrong with me, because from what his understanding of psychiatry he was not familiar with my particular problem. And I can see now why, because I was going through a spiritual awakening, and I was communicating with angels and stuff like that, and they were like, well, I'm surprised that they didn't diagnose me with schizophrenia, but I would have thought that they would have probably diagnosed me with schizophrenia. In fact, they diagnosed me with bipolar disorder, and they actually, instead of, I don't know what drug they normally give people, but they gave me a really, really, really heavy dose of some really strong anti-seizure medication. So my personality has always been up and bubbly. I have a lot of energy and stuff like that. And this medication put me in a state of just brain dead. I basically did not want to do anything except for sleep and eat, and that's it. And I couldn't talk to people. It was really, now that I think about it, it's horrible. And I can't believe they put people on this medication. Anyway, I took it for a while. I took the medication for a long time. And this is when I was in my early 20s. So this was 15 years ago, about. So I took the medication for a long time, and I slept a lot and I ate a lot. And so I gained some weight, and then I was really rested. But nothing I just couldn't think at all. So I wasn't really growing in my spiritual progress. So if you've been given medication because they think you're mentally ill, which, I'm not going to say you're not mentally ill. I'm just saying this is my experience. Sometimes I think medication, if you go back and watch my other video I did on this subject, sometimes medication is appropriate to get you through certain times of your life where you just cannot cope. Okay, and maybe I was at that place where I just couldn't cope. Actually, I think I was, so that's why I went there. But I think the medication they gave me was a little too strong. Anyway, I got through that, and I stopped taking it, and I don't know how long it took me to get back to my normal like state of being so that I was able to start progressing on the spiritual path again. So if you are awakening and they have diagnosed you with some kind of mental illness and you have been given a medication, you know, if you need it for now, then take it for now. But if you feel in your soul that you need to stop taking it so you can progress on your path, then you should, you know, discuss that with your doctor first, making sure that you're going off your medication slowly and all of that. Whatever's best for you. But it will not completely stop your progress from progressing on the spiritual awakening path. It will definitely prolong it. And really all you're prolonging is your own growth. Because you have to go through these uncomfortable feelings. You have to go through this change. And when you stop the medication, you're going to feel the stuff again. So it doesn't matter. You're just prolonging it. Basically, you're prolonging the pain. The pain you have to feel no matter what. So, yeah, I stopped taking it and I progressed on my path and I went through all the pain on my own. I just matured and I grew up and I started recognizing from reading a lot of books and from just being with myself. I started healing and I started saying, okay, you know, I'm not crazy. I started trusting in myself more and trusting in my own inner wisdom and my own intuition. And eventually I healed. And I am no longer bipolar. And I mean, and then when you think about these things, they always tell you, well, bipolar disorder is like something that doesn't go away. I think that it's supposed to stay with you like your whole life. And so people like trap themselves in these little like compartments of being bipolar or whatever else, you know, mental illness they say you have. I think really in reality, these things are happening. They're all lessons. So whatever is coming up for you and whatever you're feeling inside that seems like it's too much for you to handle, you can handle it because you have the ability to, and that's what your higher self has handed you to get through. Now, sometimes people don't handle things appropriately. Okay? Sometimes people don't take the higher path and the higher road. And what they do instead is they do the wrong thing over and over and over and over again in order to cover up these inner feelings that need to be dealt with and need to be healed. So if you're self-medicating or if you're medicating, you're just prolonging the pain. And on top of that, you're adding more stuff to it. From my experience, I've been through so much pain and really bad situations. I've come through it. And not only have I come through it, I've come through it with children, and I've done it all on my own. So if I can do it, you can do it. There's absolutely like no excuse. And I'm not a person that really likes excuses a lot, just because I know that people use them a lot, and I want you to heal. I want you to get better. And what that requires is courageous strength and not being in fear of yourself and thinking that something is wrong with you. If someone has told you that you're crazy, or if you're telling yourself that you're crazy, then stop. Because if you're watching this video and you're going through spiritual awakening, now some people really do have psychological disorders. I believe that it's definitely a real thing. I don't believe that our society is set up in order to handle those things appropriately and in a way that is actually truly long-lasting and really healing for people. So every case is different, just like with diet. You know, people have different needs and stuff like that. But for the most part, be loving to yourself, be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, feel your feelings, allow them to be there, don't judge them, don't resist them. Know that you're going to get through it and you're going to be strong again, because you will. I mean, if you would have seen me before, if you would have seen me like in my early 20s, you'd be shocked. I'm a totally different person. And that all came from me looking within and me doing the things that I needed to do for myself and loving myself. And just keep moving forward, listening to my intuition, that still small voice within that people often neglect and they don't listen to because they're just so upset and they're just like, I just want out of this. Like, I don't want to feel these feelings. You have to feel the feelings, you know? I'm not going to like say that you don't. It's not all magically going to go away. It takes a lot of hard work and then it goes away. And I am in the place that I'm in because I went through years of really hard work. And that's what it takes. And the more you stop being in denial, the more quickly these transformations start to happen. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be truthful and honest. And that's what I do. That's what I try to convey and try to do on a daily basis with these videos and in my regular life. I try to be as honest as I can with people. And sometimes that can trigger people, and I understand that. So if I triggered you, I'm sorry. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have a mental illness and you feel that right now in the current state that you're in, that you need to take some medication just so that you can like stop, it's just, you know, stop for a little while, then that's fine. You know, do what you need to do for you and know that when you're ready, you'll be ready to progress down your path even further. And I know that you can do it. And that's why you're having a spiritual awakening, because you're a very strong and courageous and loving person. So thank you so much for watching. If you would like to schedule a spiritual guidance session with me, please go below the video and go to my website and you can find me there. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave me any comments or suggestions for videos. I love to hear about what you guys want to hear about. And have a wonderful day. Bye.